Yo, what's up, guys? Messenger of the Cross, Pulse Point Media. So the game they're playing with me now is with blue cars. They're just this last week introducing this color blue everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? So, it's all the psychological warfare. It's the color sensitizing, which is customized abuse created by a psychologist or psychiatrist. That's these mad scientists that are over all of us. Customizing our abuse, meaning that you're psychologically profiled and surveilled in live time and then countered without committing crimes or doing anything wrong or being guilty of anything. You are just singled out. And then next thing you know, you'll have all this plausible deniability surround you. And it's plausibly deniable because the tactics they use are designed to make you self-implode and to hurt yourself by way of complaining about it. And we see this all the time where targeted individuals think that, they're going to contact law enforcement and law enforcement's going to, come to the rescue. Well, I wouldn't be doing that because it's an institutionalized thing and the police participate in a lot of the targeting and they manage a lot of the targeting. And so you'll just get a wellness check and they will just use it as evidence against you at a later date. That's what they do. So they'll just use it as their evidence that you're crazy, mentally ill, you're making these reports, and of course nobody will take a report at the police department. They just pretend. And then when you go to try to get the report, it's not there. And it's just about silencing you, quieting your complaint, misdirecting your complaint, and keeping you suppressed and oppressed so the abuse can continue, guys. And that's what they do. You think that somebody's been in your house or people come and go with you at the same time as you, no matter what time of the day you come and go, and that colors are being used and, that people are, paying a special interest in you. You know what I'm saying? And it's very organized and masses of people in a hive-minded army of coordinated hostility against you. But that just must be paranoia and probably just mental illness, right? After all, most Americans, I can understand, they're on 7 different medications, especially the antipsychotropic kind. And you know what I mean? And so it's all about go back to sleep, and it's all about setting you up through these tactics of abuse that are hidden, and they're hidden, but they're flagrant. And the repetitive nature and the consistency, the frequency and rate by which this unwanted contact happens, it doesn't matter that they're not abusing you outwardly. Because they'll do abuse to you flagrantly and outwardly in the open, but this type of abuse too, they'll mix it up with a lot of plausible deniability so that the constant frequency and rate by which the intercept happens to you, by which your path is being crossed, defies the laws of probability. You'd have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than these things repeating again and again in a pattern of consistent actions that we're talking about. We're not talking about beliefs. We're not talking about speculation. We're talking about the actions that people take around the targeted individual. And when a target leaves their home, the neighbor will leave their home. When you go to the mailbox, they will. When you go to your car, they will. When you leave, they will. When you come back, they will. And it's so much and so persistent and consistent that it is probably more likely that a person would get struck by lightning than having these things repeat. It's all about the interruption to your volition, to your goals, to your plans, and just to the basics. And it's making you compete over those things in a destructive way, wrapping up all your time, because the reason they go after the survival, the things that amount to survival for you, is because that produces a stronger bad reaction. They need you to step into the role that they're casting for you. And of course, we didn't decide to be in this movie, but they just cast us as the main character in the play and the performance, where we're the bad guy, And so we're just the bad guy. And when we don't give that to them and we don't step into the role that they've cast for us, they start abusing us and abusing us and abusing us and abusing us until people are ready to give the reaction they want. And then immediately once you defend yourself, because that's what you're doing, you're actually defending yourself from abuse and the breaking of boundaries and the damage to your property and everything else. But when you do defend yourself, you will be labeled a terrorist and an extremist. And that's when the real fun begins. So don't forget that I reminded you guys about this. Never, ever, ever go to the police, and never, ever talk to people that say, hey, man, I got nothing to hide. I mean, what's the big deal about them surveilling in live time everything we do? It's like, you couldn't get more foolish. Anyways, but that's the dumbed down people, that these dumbed down perps that pose as targeted individuals online, will declare. You know what I mean? And anybody that's real and legit and knows the damage that is being done is not going to sit there and tell you, hey, man, maybe soften your language a little bit and, don't be so, this or that. I'm not concerned about the delivery, as you can well tell. I'm more concerned about the content, and those people that are being tortured want to hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got these fake perps online in these chat rooms talking all kinds of garbage, trying to, weaken the message and gain control over the testimony and experience that we have had, and then spin it and gatekeep and, act like the hero and the savior. Just mark my words, anyone that's trying to hijack the conversation online, especially in chat rooms, these bots, they just will do what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They want to control and pose as the hero and the savior and control the flow of information. So they'll pose with the moral high ground, like, hey, man, some of us aren't at this level, and, maybe we shouldn't tell people that we're on the W-band network, and we're experiencing net-centric warfare, but no big deal. Just don't tell people the truth. And that's what these goons and informants and rats and snitches and cowards love to do, guys. And literally, that's all they do, guys. So I'm just here ranting because I'm sitting in my car. They're buzzing me all the time, but I'm just mentally ill and delusional and crazy. But you know what I'm saying? And so the victim performance is their strong suit, and the role reversal that they do as you begin to start defending what is yours. And they feel like it belongs to them. So it's, crazy to them that you would actually defend your car from being destroyed. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're that foolish and that imbecilic, where they do not, I don't even know if that's a word, but they do not have the ability to acknowledge the actions and the beliefs that they have. And, so I just wanted to say, guys, Messenger of the Cross, Pulse Point Media, don't ever call the police and tell them that this is happening to you. You'll just get a wellness check. I know from experience, and I've heard other targets make that foolish mistake. Got to realize how big this is. It's institutionalized. Okay. All the businesses, all the corporations, the local sheriff's office, and yes, even your local 501c3 nonprofit cult called a church in America is a part of it, with their little FEMA pastors on the FEMA payroll. Everything I'm saying is backed up. Everything I'm saying is documented. Our bodies have been put on a cloud since the 1980s and even before that. And we are experiencing net-centric warfare, where they have hijacked the people around the target, around us, and are using them like a weapon system against us, basically. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's crossing your path all the time to mockingly let you know you're under surveillance, to gaslight you. All these strangers will come into your life and they know everything about you and let you know it. But we're just delusional, right? But they let you know that they know things they shouldn't know about you in a grandstanding, provoking, mocking, let's throw down type of way. And that's what I'm trying to say. So it's always about pushing you into violence, pushing you into doing something stupid. And that's what provocateurs do. So any perp online that's posing as a real targeted individual, provocateuring and saying stupid things to get that dragnet effect, to get other real targets in trouble in a real way. You know, they're always trying to promote the violence, and the response is one of violence that they want. And they have crafted all of these tactics to engage you on a 24-hour basis, and it dislodges you from you attending to your own life, because they're pushing you out of your own life and making you have to fight for your survival. God bless.